my expectation was
through the roof.
yeah, for What We Do in the Shadows, which was brilliant and absolutely everything it should have been and more, really.
Definitely, I think that can work on a universal level. It's a comedy, it's laugh out loud throughout. It's like there's not one moment where you actually stop laughing, really, because it's just the comic timing is perfectly done. And I'd highly recommend that. It's definitely probably like the best comedy, and probably for me the best vampire film I've seen this year.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And then we had Spring.
We had Spring, and
which is completely different, but still quite funny in places as well. It's
a bit of a creature feature. It's shot in Italy, so the cinematography is absolutely outstanding.
Stunning.
It's beautiful, and I was thinking, I'd love to go there. Just looking at it, I love it. The beaches look so nice. But on that, essentially, it's a love story about a young man who has recently lost his mother and isn't sure what direction his life's going in, so he decides to take the plunge and take a trip to Italy. He bumps into a English guy and Welsh guy to begin with, which was quite funny.
Yeah, we can say that Spring is so good that we're even forgiving a Welsh joke.
Yeah, a really, really typical Welsh joke that is so not true.
It's not true.
It's not true at all.
But yeah, it's kind of... It's very strange because that kind of concept of an American abroad getting into trouble has been done so many times. But it's just so meandering, I think is the thing. It takes its time and it just lets you spend a lot of time with these two characters and that's really a great thing to be able to do. And similarly to Resolution as well, they never let you know where they're going.
Yeah.
It's sort of even by the end you're kind of like, oh,
I think you get so invested in their relationship because the chemistry between the two lead actors is phenomenal. And to me, actually, like if I was going to compare it to a film I saw last year, I'd say it was like Jemaine in terms of you invested in that relationship. That it was the same sort of feeling I got from it. Yeah,
you believe that they could be a couple and you buy into that, even though it's a very short relationship in Spring. Kind of you're not walking into an established relationship. It does grow and develop through it. And I heard a lot of people compare it to Before Sunrise.
Oh yeah, interesting.
Which would really, really work. And again, that kind of meandering, almost philosophical thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved it. And I think the benefit of, as they said during the Q&A, making your own monsters is you're not sticking to any rules.
Restricted, so they came up with their own creation, and I think that's pretty innovative.
You don't give the game away too early.
And the storytelling in it is so strong, it's just one that you can really invest in, so definitely catch Spring if you can, because it is probably, for me, the best film of the festival so far. It's say that at the moment.
Yeah, because the thing is, you want to say What We Do in the Shadows as well, but they're completely different.
They're different, I think.
Completely different.
What We Do in the Shadows is one that I could watch with a group of people and laugh with. I think it's definitely a crowd pleaser. It's one for an audience. But Spring is one that's just got so much depth to it.
Yeah.
So it's something that you can watch again, definitely. Yeah. And you probably notice different things. And it just felt so kind of, in terms of all the characters' interactions, it just felt quite realistic in that sense.
Yeah. You don't
take out the monster side and then
Yeah. And then we had
Society, which was the final film, an old film, 1989.
Yes.
Year of the Haley. Other than that, Brian Yuzna introduced his 1989 directorial film. It was interesting. It was on an original print.
Yeah, which is nice.
Yeah, which is always good to see because you
apart from when it cops out halfway through.
True, but that was the whole experience. It's part of the
the charm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that would have happened like in cinemas across the country years ago.
Definitely, yeah. But it is a treat to see that.
But Society was sort of this metaphor for the upper class, and there's something a bit sinister about them, and it's a very taboo film as well for its time. I wonder how it was actually really received, because...
Yeah, he said in the Q&A afterwards that it kind of gone down well in the UK and then just terribly in America. They just wouldn't even engage with it.
I mean, there is that issue of the class system over here, especially with the government we had back then and that we have now, and it's the rich feeding off the poor. But I think with America, maybe it cut too close to the bone for them, for people who are in that sort of hierarchy
It was very interesting as well hearing him talk about a potential sequel, and his ideas for that were really interesting. And his Q&A was great because it was less sort of short questions and more a loose framework whereby someone would ask a question and he would sort of go into stories, and it's so much more interesting when you've got someone with that kind of experience to just let that flow. But yeah, society is definitely what you don't forget, everything's true about what we've been told. So yeah, that wraps up day 2's coverage.
It does, and then we're on to day 3. We have lots of great things on today. Suburban Gothic, which is Ricky Bates Jr.'s film. We have ABCs of Death. We have Dead Snow 2 to close the festival. There's the Secret film, so we'll get back to you on that one.
Because I love you, and I'll do anything. I'll give you my heart, my everything.